I'm male 30, spent a month in Germany when I was 22. There I hooked up with a woman, Saya, 35 now. It was very casual and we used protection. Around 2 weeks back, she found me on Instagram. I only took up Instagram very recently and told me we had a son. She couldn't let me know earlier because she didn't know my mail ID. I didn't use any social media platform and my number wasn't active. I can't use that phone connection in my country. She wants me to meet him and be a father. The thing is, I have a family here. I got married around 5 years back and have 2 children. I can't just get up and leave. I love my wife very much and she would be heartbroken if she knew this. I can lose my family over this. I told Saya that I couldn't be there for them. I don't know her kid, and I don't even know if the kid is mine. While the timeline checks out, we weren't in a relationship or exclusive, just a couple of casual hookups. I cannot lose my family and the life I built over a kid that may or may not be mine. She got furious. Texts began in all caps, telling me I had a responsibility to my child. I don't deny it, but I have a responsibility to my children here as well, the ones who know me as dad. I can't choose her kid over my kids here. She called me an absolute idiot and moron. Dude, you have to tell your wife, this is a human that cannot be kept a secret. It'll come out. You need to get ahead of this before he shows up at your door one day, wanting to know why you denied his existence. Talk to your wife, get a paternity test, and then decide together how involved you are. Be it just financial or emotional, etc. as well. You can't keep your head in the sand. You are the idiot if you do nothing about this. If he is your kid, you're responsible for every child you create, not just the ones you want to acknowledge. To add, if the kid is pre-tween, then he's probably starting to ask about his father, which is why the contact is being made now. Or she's scamming you. Only one way to find out. Imagine if your wife found out from another person that you knew and hid it from her. Oh boy, talk to your wife, OP. Decide how to proceed as a team. I wouldn't be upset with my husband for potentially fathering a child and not knowing about it, at a time we weren't even together, no less. I might be upset about this situation, but any reasonable person can figure out how to separate the two. What I would consider divorce over is if he hid this kind of information from me, because the lack of honesty and transparency would make one wonder if they're getting the whole story or not. You are the idiot for taking a head in the sand approach, not for wanting to lose your existing family. Come on, man. There's something dirty in the water here. If this hookup or fling happened before you met your wife, you're okay, provided you tell her straight away. The only way this would possibly ruin anything you have here is if you were cheating on your wife while you were dating her. There's no reason for you to think otherwise. You're leaving out some important details in your story, but it's not making you look much better. You want to venture into deadbeat territory regarding this child, and you're looking to internet strangers to tell you what? That it's okay for you to be a possible deadbeat to a kid who could possibly be yours? You should, at the very least, take the DNA test. Update. Am I the idiot for choosing my family over a kid I may have accidentally fathered? I messaged Saya about the possibility of a paternity test. She asked me to go to Germany to see my son before I questioned it. I told her that was not possible. I could only do it via an online agency, the kind that sends kits to both parties. She started saying how cumbersome the procedure was, and that if I just saw my son, I would change my mind. I stood firm in that, and she said she would do as necessary. She promised to share her number and address. All convo, till now, was via Instagram, but then blocked me. I made a new account to find her, but when I messaged her, asking why she blocked me, she blocked that account too. I told my wife about this and showed her the chat. It was scary to watch her. She asked how sure I was that this kid was not mine. I told her the same as I told you here, that I had used condoms. Saya was supposedly on the pill, and we were not exclusive. We only hooked up twice. While the timeline checks out, like around 9 months, it can also totally be possible it's not mine. I showed her the chats. My wife used her account to check Saya's account, but that account was deactivated. At this point, my wife is taking my word at it. She's upset and had words with me over my stupid behavior and having intimacy before marriage. I agree. It was so stupid. I wish I could go back in time and just abstain. There were a lot of tears, anger, and apologies. For now, it's on the back burner. Unless Saya contacts me again, we've decided to forget this and move on. For all we know, she was just trying to find a guy to be her kid's dad, and the kid is not even mine. The fact that she blocked my account and deleted her account, it had something like 60 posts too. Of what? I don't know, since the account was private and I wasn't following her. It seems to show she might have been baiting. I don't know at this point. My wife calmed down and I think she forgave me. So thank you for your replies. I will let you know if Saya ever contacts me again. After reading your update, I'm wondering about everything. Saya told you about the child. For some reason, she wanted you to go to Germany, even to have a paternity test done there. When you said it wasn't possible, but could do the test online, she went no contact. I find this whole situation puzzling from her end. I don't know what she's up to, but I wouldn't believe her. You are the idiot. To be honest, you sound pretty awful. Rather than being eager to confirm paternity and then living up to your obligations if the kid is yours, you seem more interested in disavowing the child so your cushy life isn't inconvenienced. A decent man's first priority would be to get tested and confirm paternity so you know exactly what you're dealing with before deciding on the next steps. If this child is yours, you should be ready and willing to step up and provide the support your son deserves. There's no reason why another kid's reality must destroy your life and family. For the sake of this innocent child, you should stop being sleazy and take the necessary steps to determine whether or not this is your kid. Helame, I wouldn't even entertain the idea of doing a DNA test. I would block her and all her future accounts, due to the simple fact that she made all these claims and then blocked you on everything without giving you her number. She sounds like a desperate lady who's scamming for money. I wouldn't worry about it at this point. You offered a test and she refused, so that's on her. Focus on your family and have a good life, my dude. I'm male 26 and married to my wife 24, and my older brother 30 is also married to sister-in-law 28. My brother's been married for longer than my wife and I. He and my sister-in-law got pregnant quite a few times, but she lost her pregnancy every time. They keep trying, but either in the first or second trimester, she miscarries. My wife and I got married last year. She got pregnant a few months after the wedding, and we welcomed our baby a little over a month ago. We celebrated Christmas with her family and New Year's Eve with mine. We had Christmas dinner with many extended families who hadn't yet met the baby, so they were excited about it. My aunts and cousins and grandmothers were all over my wife and our baby, asking how she was, how the delivery had been, how she was managing the baby's feeding, and all kinds of stuff, which I think is all normal, right? The problem is that my sister-in-law was very noticeably bitter, and my brother was too. It's not the first time they've acted like this, ever since my wife and I found out about her pregnancy. At some point, my sister-in-law said that she was sick of the baby talk, which rubbed me the wrong way. I told her that she could go home and have chicken nuggets all by herself if she didn't like being surrounded by other happy people. She and my brother said that it was kind of insensitive to be talking only about that when everyone knows about their issues with having a child. I told them that it was not my wife's fault that she was able to have a successful pregnancy and to stop being bitter about it. That started a big argument, and my brother and his wife left. It's been a couple of weeks now, and I'm still receiving some texts from family who are deeply worried about my sister-in-law and brother after I mistreated them. I don't think I mistreated them. It's not my wife's fault that she can successfully carry a baby to term, and it's not anyone's fault that a new baby in the family is something to talk about. Some people think I was insensitive, so please let me know your opinion. Extra context. This is not the first time my sister-in-law says stuff like this to us. She's done similar stuff in my wife's baby shower, gender reveal party, even her birthday, and other family gatherings or other occasions. She's made unnecessary comments and told my wife to tone it down while opening gifts for the baby at the baby shower. My wife was obviously excited. Sister-in-law thought she was overly excited. We had to end the gender reveal party early because she wouldn't stop crying. We suggested my brother leave and that we wouldn't be upset over it. I suggested driving them if they wanted to, and they didn't want to. She wanted to stay and cry in front of everyone else. I have to go with you are the idiot. You could have been a lot more sensitive to their loss and hurt. You chose to be an idiot and just basically rubbed their faces in it. I sincerely hope you and your wife never have to experience the loss of a child, but if you do, then you'll get it. Right now, you're just selfish. Disagree. OP's not the idiot. You can't let people like that wear their grief as a cloak that surrounds the room, and everyone has to walk on eggshells around them. No one was rubbing anything in anyone's face. His brother and sister-in-law are selfish because they think the world only revolves around them and their loss. Yeah, it's one thing to grieve and find it hard being around other pregnant women or babies, but that doesn't mean you're suddenly allowed to be an idiot to them. Sister-in-law needs therapy to find healthy coping mechanisms instead of using OP's wife as an emotional scratching post. And according to OP's edit, sister-in-law's been sabotaging all the baby events with her act. Guess what? The world does not revolve around your baby. Everyone paid attention to you and celebrated your growing family. At some point, it is time to move to a different subject for your sister-in-law's sake and that of everyone else. You were being selfish, and I hope you teach your child more kindness that you've been able to display. Grow up. You and the family are idiots. As a person who's had multiple pregnancy losses, I can guarantee that if anyone had sat with you, sister-in-law, and just supported her, this would not have happened. She isn't bitter, she's in pain. My husband and I took some time out from his mom last year because she was interfering in my personal business that had no impact on her whatsoever. The gist of what happened is, I was contacted by some biological family members of mine, my late father's parents and two of his siblings. They had reached out to say they regretted letting me and my younger sister go into foster care when we were 6 and 2, after our parents died. My sister passed away soon, and that I was left totally alone with no family. So having these people reach out now that I'm 29 and haven't seen them in over 2 decades, it annoyed me. The reason for them not taking me in is that I was my father's affair baby. He was married with kids when he and my mom started an affair, and his marriage to his ex-wife only came to an end when my mom was 6 months pregnant with me. The fallout meant my father was hated, understandably, but so was I, and so was my sister when she was born. I have very vague memories of his older children and none of them pleasant. My father's parents and siblings all sided with his ex-wife, and the children, once my parents died and decided foster care was the only place for us. We had nobody on our maternal side. My mother was a foster kid herself. I saw my grandparents and aunts and uncles at my sister's funeral, but she was buried by the state since none of them claimed her body, and I was just a child myself, so I couldn't. I had no desire to welcome them into my life or to forgive them and form a relationship. My mother-in-law started making comments that I should give them a chance or I'll regret it. She said that how am I ever supposed to know my siblings if I don't make the effort? My husband told her to stop. I even told her my siblings weren't part of the group who reached out, and from the limited info I heard, they have no interest in establishing anything with me, and it sounds like they feel I should have died with my sister. Mother-in-law said that it didn't mean I shouldn't try, and then she wanted to know their names so she could talk to them. After her not letting up, despite my husband telling her multiple times, we decided to take that break from her. Then a little over a week ago, she showed up and told me she had found them on Facebook and was waiting for them to accept a message so she could talk to them and fix things for me. I lost my temper and told her to stay out of things that don't concern her. She told me not to curse, and she was just trying to help. My husband was furious with his mom when he got home. They argued, and then his brother got involved and basically said I should have just shut the door in her face and let my husband deal with her, like I was mean to her. So now I'm wondering if he's right and I was wrong to engage and say what I did. Am I the idiot? I can't stress this enough. Not the idiot. She kept meddling in your business and doing things against your will, which she has no right to do. And you're absolutely right to want no contact with your bio family after what they did to you and your sister. I'm very sorry for what happened to you, and your mother-in-law needs to respect people's boundaries. You're absolutely right. I am horrified that they did this to two innocent children. Hubby's brother is a flying monkey. Don't be mean to my mommy. My foot. They've been raised by someone with no boundaries, and now he's showing he can't stay out of things that aren't his business either. She wants a lifetime drama with a happy reunion, and she wants to be the fairy godmother-in-law who orchestrated it. It's self-serving and despicable. Your mother-in-law crossed a boundary and clearly doesn't respect your wishes. Not knowing the relationship you have with your mother-in-law, she seems to be having the boomer thought of blood is thicker than water, and families can't be toxic and cut out of one's life. That way, this woman would never see me again if it was me. I, 22 female, was given a beautiful necklace by my stepdad, Jake, when I graduated college last year. It was from his grandma's jewelry collection, and I wear it daily. Jake proposed to my mom when I was 12, and we were close. I've only met Jake's family a couple of times over the years, as they live very far away, and initially disapproved of my mom. They tolerate my mom and me on holidays, and are civil for Jake's benefit. A few weeks after my graduation, Jake and my mom passed in an accident, and the last year has been tough on me. I fell out with Jake's extended family when I was organizing their funerals. Jake was brought up Christian, and his family wanted to hold his funeral in their family church. My mom and I are atheists, and I know she wanted to be cremated, so many of their funerals would be separate. I asked James's family if we could have a joint wake for my mom and Jake, but they insisted on doing it in their church hall, which I refused, as my mom was not religious and wanted to do it at my mom and Jake's house. We fell out over this, and haven't spoken to them since they decided to hold a wake for Jake in the church and not invite me. Yesterday, I got a message from Jake's mom asking for the necklace Jake gave me. She said it's a family heirloom to be added to the oldest daughter, and she wanted to give it to Jake's sister, who's pregnant. I refused as Jake gave it to me, and she got very hostile and threatened to sue me. I'm not sure if she can, as Jake was never married to my mom or officially my dad, but he was my dad regardless. Not the idiot. You lost your mom and Jake, but instead of offering you any comfort or sympathy, Jake's mom called to ask for a necklace that he gave you? What a horrible woman. She's the idiot. What a lovely Christian way to behave to a girl who lost her parents. Block all of them, OP, and go no contact. Lock all of your social profiles and make them private so they cannot see anything or contact you or friends. They'll just make your life miserable if you don't shut them down now. I'm so sorry you've lost both parents like this. I cannot imagine how hard this has been. Jack gave you a necklace when he was alive. They don't get to take it back now that he's gone. It doesn't matter who it used to belong to. Now it belongs to you.